Discord there. Got my video going. And audio is completed. Pretend. Go.
Pretend?
Pretend. Like we know what we're talking about.
I'll pretend like I know what Star Wars is.
I like how your mask goes over the mic.
Yeah. The mic's built into my face.
Oh, yeah. It's an extension of it.
Okay, kids, let's go.
I don't know what we're going to talk about.
Well, I have an idea.
Do you?
I don't know how I'm going to choose what to talk about. There's so much.
I know. We probably should have prepared because are we going to get into Mando?
Oh,
I got other shit too.
No, that's the most important part.
Holy shit.
From a certain point of view.
Hello there.
Looking? Found someone you have, I would say.
Oh, of course.
May the force be with us. Fucking A.
Good day, Galaxy Rogue Squadron Podcast. Thank you for tuning in. This is where time and space don't exist, just the ramblings of two degenerate imbeciles. I'm Mopar.
I'm Commander. I like the new intro.
Thank you.
More accurate.
I wanted to get the word imbeciles in there. It's one of my new favorite words that I like to try to meander into all the sentences.
Are you an imbecile man or an imbecile man?
I'm an imbecile.
Doesn't Cruella de Vil say imbeciles?
You imbecile?
That's,
yeah.
I think, the first time I heard it. I was
Yeah,
like
imbecile.
3 years old. I was like, Mom, what's an imbecile?
She's like, well,
I don't know.
Ask your father. He definitely knows. Oh, man. Good day, Galaxy. Of course, we've got a ton to talk about. That's why I'm stuttering on it, because there's so much shit to come out of my mouth here.
So much. And can we say that we are the predictors of the future of the galaxy?
I'm telling you, someone needs to send a check because they're already using our
I know. I keep asking Disney to hire us. Little do I know, they already did. They just haven't told us yet.
Literally, it's like 3 months before it happens. I'm like, what if they put Thrawn and Mando? Da, 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 and then it's just fucking there. And then, what if they do this? Ba, ba, da, da, next day.
They have some intern at Lucasfilm over there that their only job is to watch Rogue Squadron and pull out theories and plot suggestions and new show ideas.
Kerner's a true he's a Disney globalist. Every time he listens to us, he's like, I'm writing that one down. I got to send it into...
That's not the sound of writing, but I made it happen.
So if you guys are new to the show, we're just going to ramble. We always ramble. But to give you a little added extras for those regulars, we are recording fanboy commentaries for Mando episodes. So we're only 3 in, but stay tuned if you want to follow along with us during that too.
You already know, man. One of our favorite things, and I'm excited that we're doing it for a show for the first time ever.
Oh, yeah.
So normally we dive right into Mandalorian on these episodes, at least when Mandalorian is coming out. But Thursday night, mere hours before the new episode dropped, we had the Disney investor call where we got slaughtered with dozens and dozens and dozens of new announcements from Lucasfilm and Marvel, and I'm sure some other properties. But those are the two that I was most hyped about. I didn't know anything about this. I know it happens every year, but I didn't know it was coming up. So I was literally surprised. All of a sudden, our WhatsApp just started blowing up. We were like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah, I caught it halfway through, and just the couple announcements that I caught, I was like, oh, I can't believe they're doing that. And then 12 more along the way hit us in the face. So, no, it's definitely a good time. You know, it immediately made me think of Bob Iger. Iger? Oh,
yeah.
Iger?
Yeah.
Because he said right before he stepped down, he said less is more. Bob,
really?
Yeah, that was one of the quotes, because that's when everything kind of went. That's where the period that we're in now, where it's like nothing's really was, things were talked about, but nothing was,
Maybe that's why he stepped down.
He said,
maybe that's why he stepped down.
Exactly.
Someone said less is more, and Kathleen's like, get the fuck out.
He said what? Done. You are not needed here.
Well, we were just talking, man, how they could do a Marvel thing where everything's intertwined. And if they do it right, it would be okay.
Well,
and for whatever reason, Bob Iger was like, it didn't feel like the right move for Star Wars. And maybe it was because they dove in head first with all of that interconnectedness. But I guess we always felt like that's kind of why we wanted Star Wars to be revived. You got the open door to do everything.
Well, I mean, it's kind of silly to say it out loud that everything's going to be intertwined, because if you're going to be a part of Star Wars, it's intertwined. One way or another, it's impossible to not be. You're on one timeline.
Right. But intentionally.
Yeah. I mean, a couple of the things we knew were coming. We'll just jump right into it. Like the Bad Batch, we knew that was on a docket. That'll be released next year. They did release the sizzle reel for that. The scissor reel. Did you watch that?
I did. Yeah, I tried to watch as much as I could.
Yeah. It was a lot to absorb.
I'm pretty sure I caught everything, and I have a list here too. It's that lest we forget, since there were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 things talked about.
Yeah. So we'll just start with the Bad Batch, since that's the first thing I fucking brought up. It is supposed to So there's 3 things that are going to be released next year. We've got Bad Batch, and I'm sorry.
You are mistaken.
It's Obi-Wan, right?
No. It's just Bad Batch, Mando Season 3, and High Republic.
Interesting. I swear I listened to Alex from Star Wars Explained, and he said there's 3 things on the docket for next year. But as I'm looking at these titles, they're not. So Bad Batch, and Mando Season 3, which
it could be
honest,
one.
I still want more.
Well, we're getting there. 22 is going to be huge, and then 23, obviously, we're going to be back in like Revenge of the Sith style era with the amount of content that we're going to have.
Yeah, especially obviously they have all this shit which is going to be on screen, but the High Republic stuff's really going to take off, and the Acolyte's going to be a little dipping its toe into the High Republic stuff. Which
I'm really, really glad they're doing that. Yeah. So here's the full list, and then we'll dive into them one at a time. So movies, we have Rogue Squadron, and we have Untitled from Taika Waititi, which I'm very excited about. And then shows, we have A Droid Story, Lando, Acolyte, which is High Republic era, Kenobi, which is officially titled Obi-Wan Kenobi, Rangers of the New Republic, Andor, which is the name for the Cassian Andor show, Visions, which is an anime, Ahsoka, The Bad Batch, and then obviously Mandalorian's continuing on. So that's
and Willow, right?
And they also, I think they tease Willow and Indiana Jones 5.
Yeah,
and something else. But Star Wars wise, that's what we're working with. So that's a fuck ton. That's ridiculous. That's like 3-4 years worth of content, and they were just like, oh, by the way, here's 12 things in case you forgot.
Well, I guess the most glaring thing, if I'm already gonna start bitching, is that there is only one movie, and I know the Taika thing is like on the docket, but it doesn't even have a title, so I'm not even gonna give that credit right now.
But now it's like not a ScreenJunkie.com article. It's like confirmed, at least.
Sure. And I did see, of course, people are going to shit on everything already, but I did see hey, is the Rian Johnson stuff off the table now? You did all this shit and released all these titles,
right?
And you didn't say a fucking thing. So I have a feeling they are scrapping that.
I don't know about that.
Or pushing it. Obviously, this is going through 2025?
So the first movie in this series, or in this announcement, is Rogue Squadron. By the way, Rogue Squadron, what?
What's that?
They're making a movie about us.
Yeah, Mopar.
With us, starring us.
We're in it.
So that's the first movie, and
I hope they pay us royalties for using our name.
I know. They really stole this name from this Columbus podcast.
I seriously am going to have a strongly worded letter.
Written to who? Bob or Kathleen?
I'm just... to everybody.
Rogue Squadron is December of 23.
I'm going to be honest.
So that's the first movie. So
that I am more hyped about that than the rest of it. And that's saying something. Because I'm not going to shit on the rest of it because obviously
hyped about a number of things.
Oh, absolutely. But if I had to put all my money onto one thing, it would be Rogue Squadron, the movie. I'm so fucking hyped for, I've said it. I want
a non-Jedi.
Well, non-Jedi, of course.
Action movie.
Sure. But a dogfight. I want some serious dog, like the Poe stuff in Episode 8 is and 7 is some of the coolest shit I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Do that with a bunch of them and have two sides, and let's fucking get at it. I think that's perfect. And from my understanding, the director, her name's slipping my mind because I'm an idiot. Her father was a pilot, so she's been around that stuff.
Have it pulled up. Patty Jenkins.
Did you watch that little snippet of her?
That little featurette, yeah.
That was nice. It
was very cool.
She's always wanted to do like a piloting fucking crazy battle movie, and she just had never came across something that she thought fit, and then she's like, fuck, here's two things in once.
Yep.
That doesn't even make any sense.
She's I think, and she's the director of Wonder Woman.
Yeah, both Wonder Woman movies, yeah.
So obviously we're huge fans of that. But
which
yeah,
got better. Which got better.
Yeah.
I loved Wonder Woman, and then like I hadn't seen it for a year, and I watched it again. I was like, this is better than I remember. This is so good.
And the new one comes out Christmas Day, I think, digitally. So I'm excited for that.
Nice.
But yeah, I mean, we're gonna get Top Gun with a bunch of X-wings. How fucking cool is that?
Fucking perfect.
I'm curious about the timeline. I think they said something about, I think they said New Republic, or they said the future era or something. So people are curious if it's going to be set after Episode 9, or if it's like Rogue Squadron is a fighter pilot group of the New Republic.
Yeah, it's got to be. I'd imagine it's close tied to like Episode 6.
I don't know.
If not, it could possibly be before. I mean, we're talking about Biggs and a lot of names that are dropped in the original trilogy that we don't really, because it's supposed to be loosely related to the Rogue Squadron books. They said it's going to be brand new, but it's going to be paying homage to that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's paying homage to that, but that doesn't mean that it's going to be the same timeline and the same people. Because I mean, Luke was part of Rogue Squadron. He's not going to be in this shit.
Why not?
Because so they could just be repurposing the name for a new type of, squadron fighting for the New Republic.
Yeah, I mentally I just immediately thought original trilogy timeline, like right there. But yeah, we'll see.
I hope not.
I'm excited because it's a full fucking movie. We haven't had anything solid to lean against since Episode 9, so we have that on the docket. So.
And let's be honest, movies are always like the pinnacle. Like everything kind of like builds up to serve whatever the new movie releases. So
yeah,
it'll be good to have him back. So if this is 23,
also
and Taika Waititi is 25, I assume that there's a trilogy that's going to be nestled in between those 24, 26, 28. I'm assuming that's the Rian Johnson one, but we're still 4 years off, so they haven't announced it yet. That's what I'm assuming.
Maybe. Yeah, I was gonna say the Rogue Squadron logo is fucking badass. I love it.
Yeah, we designed that and sent it to them.
I suggested most of it in my letter.
Oh man. So that's what's going on. I'm a fan of Taika Waititi, so I'm looking forward to that, even though there's really no news about it.
Yeah, so those are two movies. The other big one. Well, there's a lot of big ones here. Continuing on with the big ones, Ahsoka. And from my understanding, this is going to be like a 1-season thing. It's going to be like I forget what kind of series they call that.
Limited run.
Yeah, thank you. But I'm pretty fucking sure I saw that it was scheduled for 12 episodes. So it's not even going to be like a quick 8 or 10. At least we'll get 12 full episodes and they'll play it out. No, I'm excited. I'm really excited. She's a pinnacle, and we can continue to sing her praises. Yeah. So, any thoughts on Ahsoka? Oh, I'm sorry. Did you hear about how the logo is and what it refers to?
It does. It refers to the world between worlds, which is where all the crazy time travel teleportation stuff was happening in Rebels, which I forget most of. But yeah. I believe Ezra and Thrawn escape into a portal at the end, very, very end of the series.
Okay.
So that's why we don't know exactly what happens to either of them. So with Filoni involved, they mentioned Ahsoka's back in The Mandalorian. They mentioned Thrawn. It seems to reason that she's looking for Thrawn, and if she finds Thrawn, she finds Ezra, or vice versa, or Ezra's the one that's going to answer the call for Baby Yoda in the finale next week, and then they go off into the Ahsoka series, which is set in the same timeline, it says here, and also produced by Filoni and Favreau.
Yeah, I assume they're gonna have a fucking stranglehold on Ahsoka. That's their baby. So,
And right after that, we have the Rangers of the New Republic. So this and Ahsoka and the Mandalorian are all taking place in the same time by the same group of creators.
yeah, that could be really fun, bouncing around between. It's going to be the same timeline, just different settings. So that could be really fun. And obviously, they could play directly off of it, and they could continue on. Hey, I met this fucking baby child, devil green frog. We need to reach out and get some happening. So,
well, Baby Yoda could get his own show next. That's what I'm waiting for. Investors Call 2021. Grogu. The Adventures of Grogu.
The Adventures of Grogu. Grogu at night.
Grogu at night? What?
I don't know. It's just him sleeping.
The
What's that movie with
waking up,
Jim
training,
Carrey?
sleeping again.
Truman Show. I just imagine like a Grogu Truman Show where he doesn't know he's inside of a show, but so he's just working at like a
happening
fish.
right now?
He's working at a fish market, stealing fish eggs that he shouldn't be, but everybody sees it. Grogu's
He's not working there. He's stealing the eggs to eat them. He's not selling them.
He's a bad apple. Space
He
apple.
sucks.
He sucks. Continue on.
Well, some sort of so the interconnectedness that I want in a Game of Thrones type of show, I don't think can happen. But what they can do is use the Mando, introduce characters, and then branch off and give them their own show here. So we could have 4 or 5 shows at one point that are all kind of interwebbed with one another, which I think would be cool.
Let me ask you something then. So if that's true, because it
Well,
would be
it's a
nice,
guess. It's a hunch.
Sure, but obviously Ahsoka's going to be hard tied into it one way or the other. Rangers of the Republic of the New Republic going to be right there.
Yep.
What I don't see up here is Boba Fett. So that leads me to believe one of two things. Boba Fett's going to die in Mando, rightfully doing something badass instead of falling down a fucking hole, which would be pretty cool. I'm actually down for that.
Or he could fall down a hole. It's like poetry,
What? Just
like what if they did him dirty? Just like they did Phasma. They're like, you're just gonna die again. Traitor.
I can't believe you even suggested that.
I'm just joking. Obviously, that's not gonna happen.
Shit.
So go ahead with your suggestion or your theory.
Number 2.
Number 2.
He's just going to play out in Mando. Well, I mean, that's kind of obvious, but I'm saying like his storyline will play out. They're going to end his storyline. They're going to take back Mandalore or something crazy, and he's going to be on the goddamn High Council or whatever the fuck they want to call it.
That's what I'm thinking.
So I think that could be the number 2. But that's what I'm saying. Obviously, Ahsoka's on there. Everybody that we've ever seen, it has a fucking series on here, except for Boba, which was Boba Fett was a big question mark for, I don't know, 30 years.
Yeah.
That's not a joke.
37 years.
37 years. It's just been a big question mark, and no one's known. So we get him in Mandalorian, and I'm excited. So
I love Boba Fett. My prediction is along the lines of what you were saying. I think obviously they have to rescue Grogu. That's going to be the wrap up for season 2. But I think Din is going to hook back up with Bo-Katan and all those people. Boba's coming along. They're going to find the convent and the armorer. I said convent again. The covert and the armorer. And they're going to get all the Mandalorians, and they're going to, over the course of season 3, they're going to retake Mandalore, and they're going to, reunite everybody. That's my guess. That's what's going to happen. And Boba's either going to die helping them, or he's going to, basically make a name for the Fett family and, I don't know, maybe find a way to clone his damn self and continue on the family legacy. Because he's very intent on that, as we saw in the last chapter.
Yeah, his name is important to him, his history and all that. So that's really the only thing he can cling on to. Cling on.
Whoa, we've breached into different territory.
Where am I? Rangers of the New Republic. I'm not gonna lie, I just don't know enough about it, so I'm not like overly hyped. I just, I don't know what to expect. It's my own fault.
Well, obviously with Cara Dune being a Marshal of the New Republic, I think she's gonna have a role to play.
Yeah, and there was some suggestions from Star Wars Explained that the white bearded guy that talks to Grief, Karga,
cop, basically.
Yeah,
Policeman.
might be a part of it, which would be, that's fine.
Here's what has me intrigued. It says it will intersect with future stories and culminate into a climactic story event.
Oh, okay.
So what does that mean?
It's a story.
It means the season has a climax.
It
right.
may have a beginning,
That's good.
middle, and end.
Each season has a climax, and the show itself has a climax. Double
Officially,
climax.
there will be characters in this show.
This show will have stories.
So, again, it's cool. I just don't know enough about it. So,
I hear you.
Just to jump back on the Bad Batch,
Sure.
That sizzle reel, it nearly gave me goosebumps. And
It's
I don't give a shit.
A lot better than I expected.
Yeah, I don't give a shit about the Bad Batch, but the setting is perfect.
Yep.
And when I heard Palpy,
Yep.
I was like, oh, there's some shit's going down in this one. Like, I don't care if it's animated or about some characters I don't care about. And they're put in a predicament, which is cool.
Yeah.
Order 66 happens, and obviously the Bad Batch aren't chipped. Or I forget what the story is behind them. They're not direct clones.
They're experimental.
Experimental. So they don't have, it might be post a chip.
Possibly.
So, shit hits the fan with Order 66, and it looks like it's post chip. They didn't get the recent update. So
yeah. We'll see, man. I was not necessarily excited about that, but I obviously love the clones, and I think this might be an opportunity to let us figure out what happens to the clones after the Republic falls, because we don't really know. Order 66, they get chipped, they kill all the Jedi, and then we don't really know what happens to them. So is Commander Cody going to be involved? Very hyped for that. How do they transition into Stormtrooper life? Do they all agree with the Empire? Do some of them defect? That brings in old storylines from Republic Commando, which I would be interested if they could incorporate a little bit. So I'm more excited than I thought I would be.
absolutely, that's where I wanted to get to.
And the animation style actually looks really good.
They've done
to go back and look like even like season 4 of the Clone Wars, and then go to Rebels, and then go to the last season of the Clone Wars, and then go to the Bad Batch. Like, the animation is getting savage.
Yeah. The only one out there that I would complain about is that Resistance show. That was just kind of
that's a totally different style on purpose.
Sure. And that's why I was throwing it out there. When I saw that, I was like, oh, it's unique. It's just not my cup of tea. That's all right.
Mm-hmm.
Animation style wise. So Bad Batch, Ahsoka, we got Rangers.
Yep.
Visions is super interesting.
Yes, sir.
So it's going to be an anime mini series of movies.
Animated short films.
And if I saw correctly, 10 short films.
Yep.
We've always saw this is like one of them animated.
This is them animes.
No, but I think we've all seen that badass TIE fighter taking off dogfight anime that's on YouTube that someone created. You know what I'm talking about? That anime style Star Wars. Do you have any idea?
Sorry, my mic got disconnected and then reconnected. I'm back with you. I heard most of what you said. The TIE Fighter X-Wing animated.
Yeah, do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, it looks like Gundam style. Yeah.
Exactly. And we've always said, why don't they just do this? Well, fuckers, they are doing it. So, I didn't hear anything about timeline for this. I hope they jump all the fuck around. I hope these short films aren't even connected. They're just one-off crazy battles. It could be a goddamn Battle of Jakku. It could be way back High Republic. It'd be fun to jump around.
I think that is the plan. Yeah. I think they're not going to be intertwined at all. And they can just be, because they're animated, they have a little more flexibility. They can just be totally separate.
Sure.
So it'll be fun.
Sure. Excited. The biggest one, of course, a droid story.
Yeah. I don't know what's going to happen with that.
No one gives a shit. That's got to be for the kids. I'm not going to say.
But they do say animation teaming up with Industrial Light and Magic. So that's interesting. Why would they be doing that if it wasn't something super mind-blowing and crazy?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Will introduce us to a new hero guided by the legendary duo R2 and 3PO. So yeah,
Gonna
yeah.
be better.
I mean, that's obviously like least hype, but I mean they put it last. So
Sure. Yeah. Obviously, the obvious one, Andor. I have
yes,
been low-key hyped for this from the beginning. I think it's a cool. He's a cool character. He's not a hoity-toity guy. He's been through some shit and he's doing what he thinks is right. So, let's toss him in the mud and watch him fight for his life. That's fine with me.
I'm very excited for that one too. Did I hear them say that it was a 12 episode limited series instead of an ongoing series? I think that's correct.
Andor.
I think so.
I don't know if I heard that about that. I think the Obi-Wan one is.
I think that and Ahsoka and Andor are all like just a.
And
a
I
one
hope
season.
Lando.
And yeah, and just like a one season. Here you go, which is cool. The fact that they would put movie level quality and investment into the Cassian Andor show just for 12 seasons is like it's really really awesome.
12 episodes.
Episodes, yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I'm for it. I'm really for it. You know, we've always complained it's the timeline, but if you're gonna do that timeline, do it right. Create a new character and get in the nitty gritty, and that's exactly what Cassian is. So,
Yeah,
and of course we'll see some more K2, which is also badass.
sizzle reel looked good. A lot of
I
all the
didn't catch that
concept.
one.
Oh yeah, you have to check it out then. Just a lot of cool. There's no footage. It's just behind the scenes, looking at the production and the cast and stuff, and Diego talking about the character, and then a lot of concept art, which is really cool, like dark, gritty James Bond style, like undercover, really interesting stuff. So, Rebel Spy, Cassian Andor.
Yeah.
And Mon Mothma. Ooh.
Yeah, I have a feeling they're gonna. I mean, he said he's been in this shit since he was 6 years old.
Right.
He might be left for dead in some brutal battle that someone picks him up and says, "Hey, kid, just come with us. We'll protect you." And then he grows up in the mix. That's badass.
Yeah.
Sign me up. I want to see it. So
I'm ready, baby. What?
I might get some flack for this. Lando, sign me up. Lando, sign me up. I'll watch it. I'm excited.
I actually laughed like Lando.
And I'm not mad at it, but come on.
I need more. I need more than that.
All right, come on. I did hear Star Wars Explained mention that some opportunity that they could do is have Billy D. Williams almost narrate it from an older Lando point of view, talking about his younger days, and then they can go to Glover and fill in the spots, and he can act it all out. I thought that's a great opportunity, and it could be really fun. Yeah. Again, we're sliding down the same slope of the trilogy characters.
I hope it's young Lando, because obviously everyone wants Solo 2 to happen.
Yeah.
Lando series could be. Lando's not a series; he's a man. Lando series could be like first step into that territory. Like we could get a Han Solo and Chewie show in the future if people like it.
Well, it gives them the opportunity. If they want to throw Chewie and Han in there as flashpoints, I don't know what the fuck that means, but you know what I'm talking about. But that doesn't make any sense. But it's just another. Guys,
I'm sure it'll be great. I'm sure all these will be.
I'm
great.
sure as well. I am. I really am. But if for hell's sake, if they do a Billy D. Williams only,
What's he gonna do? Just sit?
He's gonna play cards and make fun of big-headed aliens that walk in. I have no idea.
It would just be him in the cockpit of the Falcon the whole time, just sitting,
just laughing
because he can't move.
Yeah, I do like the logo. The logo reminds me of that. Is it the third level in Sonic 2? The casino where you go around in the pinball machine.
Whoa, it's not on here.
What's that?
Interesting. I'm looking at the main article on Disney doesn't have the it doesn't have the logo, which is weird. It just has the description.
thanks everyone for tuning in. At Live was I see Jared, Riley, Cameron, and
Riley, you fucking savage. Welcome
and
back.
Brennan with us. Brennan just said running out of title ideas. That's what it felt like, and that's what it will always feel like. Especially if I'm assuming you're talking about Lando.
No, I think he's talking to us.
Oh yeah. I hope so. But I was actually surprised they didn't call it Calrissian. I don't know, something stupid. Whatever.
Calrissian Chronicles, obviously, is what it should have been.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just him talking to his droid about his exploits. That's all I want.
Yeah. Moving on.
Battle of the Nab. Okay, let's talk about Acolyte, and then let's save the best for last.
Yeah. Oh, I was trying to leave some big ones for the ending here. So Acolyte is supposed to be like a mystery series set in the time of the High Republic, the end of the High Republic. So it could be like conjoining.
Dude, holy shit! Keep talking.
My thought was there is something that exists called the Darth Vader or the Darth Maul Shadow Fighter, Shadow Demon, Shadow something. Essentially, it's him proving himself to Sidious. And so the Acolyte, but I'm assuming it's not going to be him. But
all right. So here's what popped into my head. Because the description says a mystery thriller that will take place. That will take the audience into a galaxy of shadowy secrets and emerging dark side powers in the final days of the High Republic era. So all I thought was pre-Phantom Menace, dark side stuff's happening, Acolyte, Sith Acolyte. I'm just thinking Darth Bane territory. That's where my mind went.
That's not what's going to happen. I'm just telling you that right now.
It doesn't have to be 1,000 years ago. It could just be like 300 years ago.
Yeah.
And it could get to the point where like the Jedi almost discover something with the Sith and they're trying to investigate some like a dark side master and apprentice or a dark side group, and they all get wiped out. So the Jedi actually don't even know what happened. And then the Sith remain in hiding. Bad guys win. Could be great.
The reason
Am I hired yet? John Favreau? Do you need my application?
The reason why my mind went to the Darth Maul book is because it does happen pre-episode 1. It is kind of like a mystery-esque book with like very high importance. Like there's some data or something. There's a Jedi that goes after some information. He's being hunted by Darth Maul. Darth Maul trying to prove himself to Sidious. All in all, they get into a fucking huge battle. The last like page, the Jedi gets to where he's going and he comes across this guy who's supposed to help him out. It's supposed to be who he's given the information to, and it ends up being Palpatine. So he hands over thinks he's doing great. I did it. I got the information to the right person.
Yeah.
And Palpatine's standing there accepting it, laughing. I'm like, oh my God, you just fucked it all up. But yeah, it was such a crazy turn. Like the last page, you're like, this whole thing, and you're just helping Palpy out. It sucks.
Damn.
Just doomed. You're all doomed. Why don't you guys see it?
Dark side of the Force has clouded their vision, my friend.
Yeah. So, moving right along.
Well, we're moving to the last, most anticipated and biggest drop, I would say, of the announcement is the Kenobi series, officially titled Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yep.
Also limited run. I don't know if they said 12 specifically, but it is just going to be a 1-season deal. And I'm both excited and tentative about the announcement that Hayden Christensen is back, reprising his role as Darth Vader.
Yeah, there's obvious. Maybe it's not so obvious. I'm hyped. 100% hyped. This is what I want to see. It's a weird time because they said it's 10 years after episode 3.
It'll be amazing to see him back regardless.
Yeah, Obi-Wan Kenobi. It's something amazing that Ewan McGregor did. he took over the role of Obi-Wan Kenobi, and now when someone says Obi-Wan Kenobi, I think of Ewan McGregor
first. Oh yeah, 100%.
first. That's an amazing feat.
Yes.
Yeah, the fact that Hayden, look, I'm sure it's going to be great, and I've always cheered that Hayden. He's not a bad actor. I think he's a good actor. He was just forced to say stupid ass lines, just like the rest of them in episode 3.
Yeah.
You can't. You're so beautiful. Like shut.
Amazing.
There.
Yeah, what's he gonna do on Tatooine if he hates friggin' sand? They're never gonna have a showdown. Oh, so I'm amazed that Hayden's back. I think it's gonna be great to see him in a new era. Well, not universe wise, but like a new era of filmmaking. I mean,
Sure.
With the Disney crew and everything. The only thing I'm tentative about is like seeing him in A New Hope. I always felt like their confrontation was like the first thing in the past 15 years. Like that was the first time they had crossed paths since he left him on Mustafar. So I'm just curious how they're going to roll that into the story.
You know what I felt?
Because he's going to have to get his ass beat again in order to come back on the Death Star and say, now I am the master.
You know what I thought was that they're going to pull some force tie to each other.
Okay.
That they're going to be able to talk to each other because they're so strongly bonded. The force bond or whatever the fuck. That not only will Obi-Wan have nightmares and flashbacks with Hayden in it, he's going to have premonitions of future confrontations with Vader. And I don't know if they're actually going to meet. Again, I hope they don't.
You think they're going to have a mind duel?
I'm just saying they're so hard tied to each other that I think maybe perhaps Obi-Wan attempts to keep that light side door open in Vader's head.
Okay.
So that it leaves the door not wide open, but just a creak open that allows Luke to really barge through and save, obviously, his father. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm with you, man. I'm with you. I'm fucking hyped. I think they're gonna do great things, but whatever.
Gonna do great, amazing things, but fuck it.
But that's it.
Yeah, I'm curious what it's gonna be. It's weird because we know where they came from. Obviously, we know where we have to get to in A New Hope. No one has any idea what the fuck happens in the meantime, except for he kills Maul. That's like the only canon thing we have that we know that he does while he's on Tatooine. So I don't know, man. Ahsoka could show up. He could go over and yell at Uncle Owen for being a dick. Check up on Luke. He could commune with Darth Vader. We could follow Vader for a lot of the series. We could see what Vader's been doing too. Like imagine what you always want. Here's your Vader thing that you were asking for 2 weeks ago. Imagine like some of those comic plot lines of Vader just doing his Vader things across the galaxy. We could see Hayden doing that.
Yeah, but it's called Obi-Wan Kenobi. We're not.
I understand, but instead of like, you know how you get those little glimpses of Moff Gideon at the end of the episodes where he's like, he's on the ship or he's in the prison with Baby Yoda or whatever. We could get those kind of glimpses with Vader, which comic book pages come to life, man. Oh boy.
Yeah, you know what I don't want, which I'm
More.
scared. I'm scared for.
What?
What if in doing this Obi-Wan Kenobi series, they explain how and why he aged so quickly? What if they do something ridiculous just to fill that plot hole?
I think
would you feel differently about it? Like something, and I don't care if it makes sense or whatever, if he does some crazy force power that drains him so much or something.
No, that's stupid.
Look,
that would be stupid.
Luke Skywalker did a force power so hard he died. So it's not out of the realm. Look, Palpatine electrocuted himself until he looked like a shriveled mushroom. So like it's the realm of possibilities obviously there, and there are explanations that why you age 30 years when it's only been 10.
I think they'll just show think they'll just show it visually.
Yeah.
Like he's aging because he's stuck on Tatooine and he's stressed the fuck out.
Sun, it's hot.
And he's too much
Murder
death
doing-
sticks. There's
Doing
2
murder to
sons.
a piece of skin.
He's got no girlfriend.
Well, that's
At the cantina
hey.
all the time.
That's not canon.
You know
He
how
has-
bad a hangover is. Imagine a hangover with 2 sons and no water. Just imagine that.
Jesus, why are the cantinas always full? Everyone's just like, this
Yep.
hangover is gonna be hell. I'm just gonna keep drinking.
Yep. All he has to talk to is Jawas. Like, come on. Imagine what that does to a man.
Yeah.
You saw what it did to Mando in just like 2 days.
Well, you know what? One of the best scenes that's ever been in Star Wars, I will still argue, is that epilogue scene at the end of Darth Vader book. And it's of Obi-Wan Kenobi's in the cantina on Tatooine, hiding, doing his own thing, being called Ben. And he sees on the fucking HoloNet that this thing called Darth Vader is roaming the galaxy. And he realizes, fuck, he's alive.
Yeah.
And that realization, that's one of the coolest things I've ever seen in Star Wars. I didn't even see it. I read it. And it was such a vivid drop to a such a great character that I didn't like. That was a scene that I had never thought about, that he had to come to a realization that he's out there.
Right.
Now everything's still fucked. Because, you know, from a certain point of view, he thought he killed Anakin.
Yeah.
And he went and into hiding because Palpy was still out there and the clones. So he was still like, everything's kind of fucked, but, you know, at least we can save the child and do this thing. But
Yeah.
like when knowing Vader's around, he's like, dude, they're doubling their efforts.
So I don't know how I never even thought about that though. Because in A New Hope, he tells Luke, like, this is Darth Vader. He says it so matter-of-factly. It never crossed my mind that, like, there had to have been a moment where he realized that Vader wasn't dead.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because we see 3, but we had already seen the original trilogy.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like a lingering question in my mind. But yeah, that's a good point. I never thought of that.
That's why that scene always hit me hard. And I think it's the
Darth Lord, Rise of Darth Vader.
Prologue? Is it after? It's after the book. Prologue.
Epilogue is after
Epilogue.
the book.
Thank you. Epilogue.
welcome.
So
You're welcome.
it is that extra scene at the end, and it's
Yes.
just like, it's such a crazy. I'm like, dude, he's sitting there, he's like ordering another drink, and the news is going on, and he's taking a sip, and he's like, oh, and just you could just feel like
Yep.
everything drop, and he's like, we're fucked. I can't do this again.
Must get off this planet.
Well,
Luke, grow up faster. God damn it.
Exactly. It's like, I already did it once. Now I'm 20 years older, or however, you know, I'm so drained, and I'm an enemy of the Republic.
Yeah.
Like
And now I gotta wait 20 more years.
Yeah, I'm not. First of all, I'm not strong enough to do it again. Second of all, it's hot and I'm hungover.
If that's first, second, and third of all.
Yeah. So
I'm getting too old for this sort of thing. So that's all the news, guys. Well, there's also Marvel. I figure we maybe we hold that for a week or two. We can chat about it
I
because
honestly didn't even look at it. I was so wrapped up into Star Wars stuff. So
I was. I obviously don't want to say more hype, but I was close to equal hype level with Marvel. There was a lot. There's quite a lot there. So, but we'll wait. You know, we're a Star Wars podcast first, Overwatch and Game of Thrones podcast second.
News, weather, and sports.
News, weather, and Cleveland Cavs third. So we'll hold off on Marvel for right now. But I did want to grab one other thing before we get into Mando, because they also had the video game awards, and they had a teaser for Mass Effect 4 question mark.
I thought it was the remakes.
Well, they announced the Legendary Edition on N7 Day, but we got a little teaser, and the teaser ends with a very subtle side profile of Dr. Liara. So it's like, and it just says Mass Effect 4 will continue. Or it says Mass Effect will continue. So I'm assuming it's coming off of the Shepard storyline.
Yeah, you play as Liara because she can be 2,000 years old.
True.
Who does she romance?
Still looking fine.
How many
whoever she wants.
Tentacle things.
They can mate with anything in the galaxy.
Oh yeah, because they
Except for
mate
Reapers.
with their mind. I forgot. They can. That's the ultimate. That's the ultimate sex scene. Is Liara with Borgullet?
That's the crossover event of the
First
century.
of all, there's tentacles, and they're just reading each other's minds like crazy. That's the end of the universe.
That is the crossover event of the freaking millennia.
Yeah.
Did you see the teaser for Mass Effect?
I did not.
I'll have to send it to you. There's not much, it's mostly just like beautiful galaxies and planets and stuff like that.
But it's perfect.
Well, it is beautiful. It's just really nice CGI of space looking shit, I'll say.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just ends with Liara finding like an N7 piece of like the N7 armor in the snow. And then it's just like her looking off into the distance. So it's like, if that's Liara, then we're continuing that storyline. So
it'd be nice to do like a post Shepard, like
right, like Shepard's not back, obviously.
Right.
Yeah, but continuing his legacy. Yep.
Sure. No, I'm down for that. Definitely down. And they've always done a really good job of like really immersing you into the universe, just the same as KOTOR. Even though it's a little dated, you're immersed. Everything around you, all the different aliens. You hear Kepuna. That's all.
And I cannot imagine in next gen.
Yeah.
What it's gonna look like. So that's cool.
Yeah. Let's do a quick side thing before we get into Mando.
I got a second quick side thing as well. I forgot about.
Oh, perfect. I just wanted to. I'm getting through episode 3 audiobook, and
Nice.
Guys, let me explain something.
I would like you to explain it to me.
Episode 3 is always arguably one of my top Star Wars films of all time. It was just the right time. I can get past all the bad script and all that because of what's happening, the downfall of everything. I like the darker movies, and obviously we get that, and it's just. It's those classic themes of betrayal and, seduction and twisting the minds and all. And it's just the culmination in my mind of the Star Wars, of the trilogies, I guess. And this book is beyond that. It's so fucking good. Let me explain something.
I like how excited you are about prequels. I'm here for it.
It's like I said, episode 3 has always been probably 1, 2. If it slips to 3, it's a fucking off week.
Pinnacle, baby.
It's always up there. And this is adding so much. You get into the mind of Obi-Wan and what he thinks of the Republic and Padme, and you get into the mind of Anakin. That's all we've ever wanted. And he's thinking, you get the inner minds of how Anakin thinks about the Jedi and his current standing with the Jedi. And it's not like played out in script. We get to hear him, like, he has an argument with Padme and says, I don't want to be a part of the order anymore, like before everything even happens. And it's like he's been fighting to get, first of all, they lay the grounds of why he wants to become a master. It's kind of dumb. It's the restricted section in the Jedi Archives has a restricted section that is restricted to masters only, and in that restricted section we'll have Sith teachings of exactly what Palpatine told him. Like, there are ways to prevent death,
just
and
like
so in
Diaz.
Anakin's mind, he's like, well, I need to become a master to get access to that stuff.
Right.
So it hits even harder when they said you're allowed to be on a council, but we don't grant you master. So all the groundwork is laid out so much that it makes the movie even better. And just like I said, you get in the mind of Obi-Wan and that sort of thing. It's like, holy shit. Also, that the first scene, the first event in the movie where it's like they're flying in, then they have the Dooku and the Grievous interactions.
Yeah.
That takes like 4 hours in the book.
Nice.
It's fucking crazy. And you get in the mind of Dooku, you get in the mind of Grievous.
Yep.
First of all, Dooku is awesome, but my God, is he evil in this.
Hell yeah.
And very racist.
Sorry, I don't know why I'm laughing at that.
I know. But it's like, that's what the evil comes out, and he's like
speciesist, you mean?
Yeah, speciesist. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's like, this like galaxy needs to be ruled by humans and only humans, and he starts spouting off, and I'm like, God damn, Dooku,
Oh,
like
shit.
we knew you were badass, but I didn't know you were like elitist like this. Well, from a certain point of view, we kind of always knew he was
He's a fucking old man. Yeah.
yeah, but yeah,
Old
that just
there's
adds,
Grandpa staring at the news, shouting about things.
man, it really felt like dirty. Like there was some like real crazy truths and shit, like stuff we, I don't know. It's nothing but goodness and greatness and perfection. I love it. This book is really gonna push for my number one spot of Star Wars. All books.
Favorite book and favorite movie?
Yes. Well, I'm not gonna lie. From a certain point of view, the movies are number one, always in my heart. But yeah, it will push for number one. Like
in
Darth Vader, Bane, and
yeah,
this.
always in my heart and in my loins.
Brennan, sorry, it's the Revenge of the Sith audiobook. Thank you.
You were gonna say Rise of the Skywalker, weren't you?
Oh, I looked at the ROTS. Yeah, Rise of the someone.
It is weird. Yeah, Rise of Skywalker is the Rise, TROS and ROTS. I always like jumble them up in my head. Episode 9 or episode 3?
Yeah.
Which one comes first?
There's it's sometimes it feels like filler when they add certain scenes in novels. This one, everything it just builds upon.
It's all intentional.
It's perfection. It's
Good.
I have no issues, and it's nice to have a narrator that is like fucking on point. He's doing all the voices perfectly. It's great.
Good. Unlike Mulberry from the first one.
Mang bang.
Okay, skipping over that one. Last quick update, which is video game related as well, is that the Squadrons update is now out for the B-Wing and the TIE Defender.
Oh yeah.
So that's up on the stores. Time to update your games and dive back in. Fuck things up with the TIE Defender.
Defend things up with the TIE Defender.
Defend things. Defend your squadrons in squadrons with your squadron ships. So that should be fun.
Yeah, I unfortunately I jumped on that game a couple weeks ago, not thinking that it's not out yet, Mopar, and I was like half hyped, man. I was like, yeah, and I looked, I was like, why can't I be it? What did I do?
You have to unlock it or pay for it. No, it's all free and it's live.
Cool. Moving right along to Mando.
The main topic.
Main event.
The main event. Fighting. Sorry. Chapter 15. Right before the season finale. I thought there was going to be 2 more episodes. like you illicitly lied to me at the beginning of our podcast.
Oh yeah, I plant false
But
seeds.
it looks like there's only 8 episodes on IMDb. I've also heard that this last one's going to be longer, so hopefully it's like at least an hour. I think we need at least an hour. But yeah, so this is called The Believer, I think, correct?
I have no idea, actually. I never saw the title.
Yeah, I think it's called The Believer.
Which is a weird title, to be honest.
It is a little bit weird. And I'm going to say right off the bat, like we kind of discussed last episode, the fact that they ended the episode and they were like, I need Bill Burr back in my squad. I was instantly like, okay, fine.
Sure.
And even at the very beginning of this episode, when they go to the junkyard and he's scrapping a TIE fighter and the droid's talking to him, I was almost like, I love Bill, but do I want to see this for a whole episode?
Sure.
But I will say I thoroughly enjoyed this episode. I really enjoyed his character. I really enjoyed the Imperial perspective and point of view and kind of getting in their minds and hearing some backstory. And I was impressed. I was very happy. Overjoyed.
No, I am right there with you. Bill Burr's a lot to handle, and to throw him into Star Wars, I didn't know if it was going to mesh well, because the first time we see him, it was a little much. But man, he really made a believable character, and it made it a well-rounded character where, Cara Dune had questions around Bill Burr's intent. I'm sorry, whatever his name is, Mayfield. Yeah. Because of he's ex-Imperial.
Right.
And it was quite the opposite. He had such a distaste and distrust and bad feelings about the Empire. He came out fucking him up because he hates it.
Right.
So it really proved, proved himself, and it does say a lot that ex-Imperials can be, a source for the rebellion.
For good.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of feels in general. I mean, we had the whole chase scene where they're driving those juggernauts toward the base, and they have to be careful about it blowing up. They're getting attacked by pirates or locals, maybe.
Yeah.
And then they finally reach the bridge, and the Empire comes in and like saves the day. And you're like, oh, thank God the Empire's here. Oh, wait, that's the bad guys. Like, it was a weird mix-up at the end. You're cheering for stormtroopers.
It was a nice mix-up. Yeah, when the TIE fighters come in, it's always like, oh, shit, you hear that? Oh,
yeah.
It's actually pretty fucking good, Mopar. Thanks, Mopar.
You're welcome, Mopar.
But, yeah, you hear that stuff, and you hear the claps of the stormtrooper boots, and you're like, yay, they're here to save the day. Yeah. It was a nice, like, quick episode. I thought it added enough to the story that I was fine with it being a little shorter. Again, those toss-away episodes, this didn't feel like a throwaway episode. It was moving the plot along.
I agree.
The information they needed. We learned a little more about Cara Dune, about Mayfield. We saw Mando's face.
Yep.
And
we hear about, like, how the Empire is thinking about themselves at this point in time.
Sure.
Which was
because everything else is in disarray. They're like, we're on the up and up, and no one can defeat us. So, which
shout
is cool.
out to Operation Cinder as well from Battlefront.
Yes. Yep.
Which now I need someone to explain this to me in more detail. I don't know if I quite get it. So like Empire or Palpatine's like, if I'm dead, you all are fucked, and I'm gonna blow everything up. But now the Empire's still around and they're back and they're actually ready to. They're poised to make a push and take some of their territory back, right? So I guess I don't understand, like, he destroyed certain worlds, or he just destroyed everybody under a certain rank, or I don't know exactly how that happened.
I think it was just a contingency plan to pave the way for his return. There was necessary things that need to be saved. There's necessary things that need to be destroyed, or else they would be a threat in the future.
Okay.
So it was kind of just like grooming the galaxy for his return, I believe. But yeah, Shinobu's would
No, I think it's the opposite though.
Oh, okay.
That's why I was so confused, because it says the operation was part of the contingency, a plan devised by Palpatine to ensure that the Empire and its enemies did not outlive him should he ever perish. So I think it was like, if I'm dead, I don't want anyone to carry this on. That's why I was so confused. But obviously they didn't ravage everything, because now there's a whole sect of the Empire, and this bro that Bill Burr ran into is like, yeah, man, Operation Cinder was nothing. We're about to come back and hit hard. The New Republic sucks.
Yeah, I guess I'm gonna have to do some reading. I don't want to spout anymore. We can theorize all we want, but if I don't know. Yeah, because that's at the beginning of. That's when you see the fake Palpy
right. Yeah,
hologram on the mask thing.
Yeah, in the droid. Yeah, in Battlefront. So
I even read that fucking book, and I don't. Yeah, it's.
Don't remember what it was.
Well, the book was not like it was a part of Operation Cinder, but obviously things turn sides very quickly. So
yeah, so it's a little confusing. Who knows what Palpatine was thinking before he died? He was high. He was on pain meds.
Oh,
he's on Ambien. He's confused.
Just so I don't forget.
You sound like you're about to be pissed about whatever you're about to say.
No. I just thought back to the audiobook again, and it adds a lot to Anakin killing. So the original plan was for Dooku to face Anakin and Obi-Wan, and all along the plan was to kill Obi-Wan, and that was going to be the downfall of Anakin, because without Obi-Wan,
he's fucked. Yeah.
Palpatine's like his only like friend at that point. So that was the actual plan.
Interesting.
And obviously Dooku was supposed to kill him and then like escape. But yeah, so that was a kind of a quick turn. So that's why Dooku's so surprised, because it's like they knew they were grooming Skywalker.
Right.
But obviously Dooku thought he had solidified his role and everything.
Oh yeah.
And so that, I mean, it's obviously a surprise to Dooku anyways, when Anakin kills him. Yeah, so that just adds to it because it was always the plan to kill Obi-Wan.
I like that. That makes sense. It also makes sense why in the fight Dooku keeps like fucking Obi-Wan up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh, and just a lightsaber battle wise, Dooku's like toying with them, with both of them at the beginning, like laughing and all this shit. He's like, "Oh yeah, Obi-Wan's doing this type of style, and Anakin's clearly using this type of style, so I just have to like kind of defend myself." And then all of a sudden, there's something that snaps, and they're both toying actually with Dooku, and saying, "Oh, Obi-Wan is actually pretending to do this style." And now he's getting more aggressive, and so it turns tides like immediately, and Dooku gets it like he feels old immediately.
Oh,
damn!
damn.
And he's like, obviously these guys are top notch, and I am fucked.
Exact quote.
Basically, yeah. So I hate jumping around, but that did come to mind, and that was one of the other big things that I was like, oh, that makes a lot of sense that they were trying to kill off Obi-Wan.
Yeah,
which was supposed to be fairly easy in Dooku's eyes, but clearly he underestimated Anakin and Obi-Wan because they were in fact toying with him.
Right. Everyone underestimates Anakin. Well, yeah, I mean, they probably went in after he got fucked up in Geonosis, and he was like, "Let's do this differently this time."
Yeah.
Interesting. I always wondered if, because Dooku's so old, I always wondered if he like uses the Force to make him move and feel younger, like during a fight, and then is even like extra exhausted afterwards.
Yeah. They do kind of plant the seeds of. They always talk about Anakin's feelings and his heart. So they basically they make a analogy that like even a star can die, like a sun can die, and that's not supposed to happen. But suns do die; they become black holes and all this. And they talk about, there was old myths on Tatooine with all the slaves that there was a dragon at the center of each star, and they made an analogy like people's hearts also have dragons. But Anakin's was an ice dragon, and he always had like to keep it down, or else it would come out. And it's like the dark side is, in my mind, was always like a cold feeling, like he was frigid.
Oh so yeah, cold sir.
Yeah, cold sir, and that's exactly it. He wasn't feeling cold because he was actually cold. He was feeling cold because of the fucking devil inside of him. It was
dark side's raging, trying to get out.
Yeah.
Trying to get that rank master. Look in those restricted books.
Yeah, they do a lot of
It's
insight.
crazy.
I couldn't push this into your faces even as much. It's really because they really you get more Yoda, you get more Mace, and they talk about the grand scheme of things and how things are failing and what they need to do, and it's like all these moving things that are on screen, but they just build everything up. It's so perfect. So back to Mando. I'm sorry.
No worries. Don't apologize for loving Star Wars. Usually we take diversions so we can shit on things.
Yeah.
So I'm with it.
But isn't so? Do you want to shit on something? Isn't it ridiculous that I have to go back to an episode 3 audiobook to really, really enjoy and spark this thing that or the Republic Commando? I have to go back.
Can I say something?
Go ahead. 15 years.
You sound like people when Phantom Menace came out, and they were like, "Isn't it annoying that I have to go back to 77 to enjoy Star Wars?"
Isn't it though?
It's not. Nostalgia factor. Dun, dun, dun.
What was the last novel that you read that you liked from the new stuff?
Star Wars novel? I haven't read any Star Wars novels in a while, actually. Probably the Force Awakens novelization.
The Padme book, didn't you?
Oh yeah, Padme was really good, but again, that's prequels era, so I was all about it.
See, perfect.
I did not actually. I never ended up reading Master and Apprentice.
Yeah, I haven't.
I'm ashamed.
That's my point. Is I've tried many times with the Disney era novels. It didn't ring my bell. That's all. And I go back to like an episode 3, and it's like fucking perfect. You go back to Republic Commando, it's like, oh my god.
I know.
Thank you.
I agree. That's why I do have high hopes for High Republic. I think it will. I think it will turn the tides of how I've been feeling about the Star Wars novels. But maybe I haven't found the right one. Maybe I have all of them. I just have only read like a third of them. So actually like a fourth of them. So maybe I just need to find a different one to start with. Oh, I don't know.
Yeah. So back to
Mando. You started by saying, isn't it ridiculous? And what I thought you were going to say was, isn't it ridiculous that Mando can get into the Imperial terminal and all he has to do is take his helmet off? I was like, why does he have to take his helmet off? Why do they have to scan his face if he's not like in their system as an Imperial officer?
Wow. Yeah, that was my question.
I was
Does
like,
he have
what?
Imperial ties?
It didn't even ask for like a clearance code or anything. It was just like facial scan.
But
And it could tell that you had a helmet on. So it's like, take his helmet off. It's like, but if you're not in their records, it's not going to unlock for you. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I didn't get it either. No idea. I don't have the answers.
I couldn't get past it. I hate the episode.
It ruined Disney.
No, overall it was good. It was fun. The Imperial officer was creepy.
You know what it felt like?
Creepy as fuck.
In a good and bad way. It really felt like one of the German soldiers in Inglourious Bastards. Like
lots of references to that, yeah.
Kind of awkward. Maybe because it's wartime and he's in the position that he is, but he's trying to like let loose in a very demonic way. Like it was just like a weird feeling, which, you know, I would blame the situation that he's in and the war. And even he mentioned like, this is the first shipment that's made it. So like, they're happy that not everybody died. Woo-hoo. It's like, it's a fucked situation. So, you know, it's kind of like a war-torn admiral or whatever.
Well, and he's also just he's a creepy dude, and I knew he looked familiar, and I couldn't remember it, and then I looked him up. He's in 3 from Hell.
Yeah, I haven't seen that yet.
The Rob Zombie one. He's like, I forget how he gets into the picture, but he's their uncle or something like that. But he ends up being like more sadistic than the rest of them, which is crazy. And he's also the actor that played the Night King in Game of Thrones.
Oh, interesting.
So as soon as he started talk, it wasn't until he talked that I recognized it, and I was like, "Ooh, this guy gives me the heebie-jeebies." Just evil Imperial.
Yeah.
That whole showdown with when they were just sitting there trying to cheers a drink and everything, just tense. That's what reminded me of Inglourious Bastards originally. Was that when they're in that bar and it's just like these guys want to kill each other, but they're trying to, you know, mask it. It was just it was perfect.
That's probably the exact reason why it was Inglourious Bastards to me. It's enemies sitting down for a drink.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we get to see Pedro's face again.
Yeah, what do you think?
Whatever. To be honest, like
that's a big moment for a Mando.
It's big for him. Obviously not for the rest of the Mandalorians. We saw Boba Fett's face 20 hours ago, and that wasn't a big deal. We saw Bo-Katan. We got to see everybody else's face. It's a big deal to him and him only.
And the rest of that convent.
Yeah. So
I keep saying convent.
Cohorts. Coercion. Yeah, I just, it's not a big deal to me. It's like, I don't know. I'm fine.
Well, it was a big deal. I mean, they set the whole, past 15 chapters talking about how it's a huge deal and it's never going to do it.
Sure.
So I'm wondering if this is a turning point for him in general, or if it was like, oh, that was a one-time thing. Got to get the kid, and I'm going back to my old ways. Or if he's like gonna, I don't know, because Bo-Katan obviously was talking about, you guys are like radicalizing the old Mandalorian creed. You don't have to live this way, blah blah blah. So I wonder if he's gonna this will be the turning point of him
loosening up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Again, I get it. It's not a big deal to me. You can have it on, have it off. It doesn't change, whatever. It is nice to see, like, yeah, if there is a changing point, maybe a visual that if he keeps it off, one, he's like trusting the people that's around him. So, with his face, now
his mustache.
Well, I mean, from a certain point of view, the goddamn Imperials have his fucking ID now. They scan face.
Yeah. That's got to be a security measure on there, is like scan a record of everyone who uses the terminal.
Yeah. Who searched for what? Shit. Yeah. What information?
Now they're like, this base just blew up. This guy used the terminal 5 seconds beforehand.
Yeah.
Huh.
Who used it? Yeah.
Oh, he
Yeah.
was also at that base on Navarro. Who's this guy? They're going to track him down. Yeah, seems like a risky idea, if I had to say so myself, Jaron.
Yeah. Yeah. I was surprised. When they put on the stormtrooper outfits, I was like, well, first of all, of course, it's Star Wars. They're going to put the shit on. And I did like Mayfield's comments, like, this thing's still sweaty. Like, this is disgusting.
Yes.
Those small little comments, I was like, thank you. And,
Yeah, exactly.
just
Gloves are wet.
yeah. I honestly, I didn't know if that was actually Din Djarin sitting next to him because he didn't talk for half the ride. I was like, who did someone slip in this, not unknowingly? Is this Boba or something?
Yeah.
Like, I just thought it was leading to something, and then he just started talking. I was like, what the fuck?
I was thinking the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah. It was just it was a weird thing to focus on for him to not talk. And I was like,
Well, even the first few seconds, he didn't move either. He was just sitting straight,
yeah.
not responding to Bill Burr.
Yeah. I thought that he
just-
like put a fucking dummy puppet in there. I was
That's
like,
exactly what I thought.
I was like,
too.
what is happening? And then he just starts moving and talking. I was like, there was
So
no
weird.
reason for this. Well, what's weird?
Strange.
Yeah, and the fact that everybody had a goddamn thermal detonator from the Okanobis.
Yeah, they made it seem back in episode 6 like those were kind of rare. Like
yeah,
you,
everybody had
you
one.
could blow up a freaking city if you use this incorrectly. All those pirates had them.
Yeah.
You got a solid Capuna.
I didn't hear it actually.
I didn't hear it at first. Kerner mentioned it, and then I went back and watched it, and I was like, "Oh yeah, Capuna."
Ooh. Yeah, fun episode. Like I said, it didn't feel like a toss away episode. Finally, it was kind of an offshoot thing. They needed to go get this information or find the location of Moff Gideon, of course, to get Baby Yoda back. But it didn't feel forced. It felt more natural.
Yeah.
As opposed to like an offshoot just to do it.
Sure.
So at least we know it's leading to something. It's leading to Moff Gideon, where Baby Yoda is still probably force choking everybody. So
Hopefully, he's force choking everybody.
could you imagine they pick up Baby Yoda? He's got a dark side robe on, and he's got Sith eyes.
Like in KOTOR when you get back to get Bastila, and she's like, "I'm evil now."
I'm
Malix. Yeah.
Malik's bitch.
Sorry, I wasn't.
Malik's
gonna
my
get there.
bitch. I can.
Malix is my bitch.
Oh yeah.
Yo.
I always thought just a crazy offshoot when you get to the Lost Planet in KOTOR, and because you see those cutscenes of Malik electrocuting Bastila against that slab.
Yeah.
You can actually get to that point and see the slab, but there's like nothing. I always thought that would be nice to leave something there.
Or like you can feel that something bad happened there.
Something like that, or even like leaving a lightsaber crystal or something weird for that. And you just walk up to the slab and you're like, oh, this is that scene.
That's where it was.
There's
Thanks
nothing
for reminding
here.
me of that. Great.
Yeah,
Let's
it was
go.
a nice little touch, but I was like, I kind of wish there was something here. But yeah, random offshoot.
I loved the Kara and Fennec Shand overlooking their escape route.
Yep.
And sniping the guys and like having those scopes reminded me just of Battlefront 2. Felt like they were in the middle of a mission in Battlefront 2. That was awesome. And then Mayfeld glory shot on some of the Rhydonium or whatever the fuck it's called.
Yeah.
Rhydanium. And he blows up the entire base, which is pretty cool. You know, getting
it's
revenge on those imps.
Yeah, huge turning point for everyone. You know, not only are you destroying the enemy to a large point, but like you're proving yourself, you're proving your worth, you're destroying the enemy, and you're proving to Cara Dune that you're done with that shit. That's you want to leave that stuff behind. You're not carrying it with you. Fuck that.
And you're proving yourself to yourself too.
Yeah.
And then one of my personal favorite moments of the entire show so far, we get to see a seismic charge in action, which as soon as they cut back and showed the back of the Slave One, my hands were up. I was freaking out, man. I was so happy. It was beautiful.
I knew it before you, so I'm a much bigger Star Wars fan.
How dare you?
I literally made a comment because they were taking off and those two TIE fighters were hauling ass. And I was like, that is the last ship you want to be behind.
Yeah, exactly.
And then he opened the thing. I was like, oh my God.
Oh, yeah. Boom.
I literally was like, babe, listen to this. And I just had this stupid grin on my Yeah, they're doing it.
Oh, it was great, man. It was great.
Yeah.
Good placement too. Takes
Yeah.
out both of those ships. It was awesome.
You
Beautiful.
should have destroyed half the planet too, because fuck it. Seismic
Yeah, why not? You know, it was. Oh god.
Boba Fett's new painted armor. Didn't it look good?
Oh yeah, it did look fresh. Very nice. Very nice. So why do you think he still has the black robe on? Does he? He hasn't had time to get any new unders, I assume. Like, you know, usually he has that slim jumpsuit under the armor. Now he just kept the black robe on. That's
Oh,
all
I
he
didn't
has.
even.
Like, where did he get paint? But he doesn't have his, you know, underoos.
Oh, I don't know.
What do you think?
What is that?
Well, you've been calling him thick Boba Fett.
Boba Fett.
You think he can't fit back into his skivvies?
Yeah. Yeah, that's all right. You get older, man. You get young.
Bantha meat has a lot of protein on it.
It has a lot of something in there. Yeah. It was a good episode. I'm actually pretty happy with it.
Yeah, solid.
I didn't realize that it's the second to last, so it kind of is. We're already here. Like it.
I know.
We're already here, and that's you know if I'm gonna sit here and complain about something, that's why these like one-off side missions mean so much, because there's so much limited
Right.
screen time that, you know, whatever. But
And I was happy with this one. But yeah, I mean, we sound like old people, but time moves fast as shit. I felt like just a couple days ago we were complaining about the Frog Lady episode and saying let's get into the action, and now the action is almost over.
yeah.
Last thing is Din's message back to Moff Gideon.
Yeah, what a
repeating his
fucking
speech from
badass.
man, that was so fucking awesome.
ballsy.
I like watching the recaps because they're like, obviously you know what happened in the last episode, but sometimes if they're gonna bring if they're gonna throw back to something older, they play that at the beginning. So when they played that speech, I was like, oh, what's gonna happen now? And then he had that hollow transmission at the end, just, you know, staring him down, talking straight trash.
What were you referring to? The transmission,
Like,
from
you know how they
Gideon to
No, yeah, from Din Djarin to Moff Gideon at the end there. I was just saying at the beginning of the episode, it was like previously on The Mandalorian, and they showed that clip from season 1.
But that's the clip I'm asking about.
What about it?
What are you referring to? It was
When Gideon lands on Navarro,
yeah,
and he's about to blow up that bar where the client is.
Yeah.
That he says that to Din.
oh, okay.
He like kills the client and they shoot him up, and then he's like, "You may think what you have, you may think you know what you have, but you have no idea."
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
his whole speech, and Din just spat it back out to him.
Gotcha. Yeah, I didn't make that reference. Yeah, I just thought it was a fucking badass thing to be like, bitch, I'm right here on your TV. You want to come get me? You stupid bitch. I know where you are. You stole my monkey.
It was it was badass, and it was even extra badass when you catch the speech. Yeah, you have to watch it. You saw like the little recap at the beginning, right?
I usually black out during that.
I usually watch those and then black out during the episode.
I just have no idea what's going on. No, I'm very, very happy with it. I'm glad things have gotten going. That was the one thing, you know, if you're going to do a Spider episode and Frog Lady episode, you better start fucking hauling ass at the end. And they have. We've gotten Ahsoka. We've gotten Boba Fett. Things are shitting. Baby Yoda's gone, so we'll get that. We got the Dark Troopers. We've got Jedi Temple-esque caller ID. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, I'm full on hoping an hour and a half episode. I if the Bachelorette can do two
You used
hours,
that one already.
I know. It's because they're doing even more. They're not only doing 2 hours this week, they're doing 2 hours. They're doing 4 hours this week of Bachelorette. Give me some goddamn Star Wars.
That's how they get you on TLC.
Give me it. I need it.
If I worked for Disney,
Oh,
that's
we
what
do.
I would do.
From a
That's
certain
what I
point
would
of view.
do. From a certain point of view. Yeah.
We all
that's
do.
What I would do. I'm not going to even feint to complain about the announcements from Thursday. It's all great. I'm
Sure,
very
yeah.
happy.
Absolutely.
But I do think they have the freedom to have somebody there. Give one director, when you got 12 shows, give one director the chance to be like, you know, just go crazy. If you want to get crazy and make, you know, hour-long episodes like Game of Thrones, or if you want to do a 20-episode season, or just get totally wild. Do whatever you want. Unlimited budget. We found money for the tit, Walrus. We'll find money for your extra episode.
Yeah. We flew it all the way across the water. $2 million.
We always go, anytime they're spending frivolously, we always go back to that one. I just thought that stood out in the documentary. It was so funny.
It's like someone talking shit. Guess how many tits we flew? Not 2. 4
titties.
1 million pound tits.
Yeah. I don't know. You have freedom. So if you want to make The Mandalorian 10-hour episodes instead of 8 40-minute episodes, you can do that. You can do what you want. You don't have any scheduling restrictions. No one's asking for less Mando. Everyone's asking for more Mando.
Yeah.
Give it to us.
But
yeah, also
it's a thin line, man. It's a thin line because obviously I don't want filler material just to push it to an hour. If you've only got a 33-minute long, little side mission, thank God the fucking spider episode wasn't 2 hours long, because I would have left.
I know.
So
that was a rough one.
So we'll see. They are opening a lot of doors with Mando. They're doing it right for the most part. Some of the side missions, obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah, with everything on the docket now, it really could take off regardless. Obi-Wan. I mean, we have the door open with like the Visions, the Vision one-off movies, the mini movies. That could go anywhere, and they could be fucking epic. They could, they really could. So that might be their opportunity to go crazy. So yeah, it's just nothing but good things. We've been asking for more. We need more, and now all of a sudden we are getting more. Now,
whoa, too much.
We gotta wait 5 years to get the more and everything that they've announced. But
it's a glimpse into the future of Star Wars, I would say. By the time Rogue Squadron comes out, we're gonna have another 5 years worth of announcements.
I still,
Rogue Squadron.
I don't know why they need to announce everything too. I'm just gonna say it.
Well, because people like us want to know if they're doing something.
I know. Well, obviously they are.
But honestly, we didn't really know. They haven't had a hard stance and to say, "There's all the things that we're doing." You know
what needs to happen?
That
is all of a sudden, like during the Super Bowl or something, we just need to get a trailer for a movie we didn't know.
I do like that approach as well.
Just all of a sudden, like Solo 2, we see Han running around shooting fuckers, and Chewie's lifting up people, cutting them in half, and it's just like, what the fuck did I just watch? And then we can all build our own hype around the movie we didn't know that was coming.
I do like that approach as well.
It's always fun, even from a music standpoint. When people drop albums that no one knew that people were working on, you're like,
Every Time I Die, speaking of, just came out with 2 new singles this week.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just out of nowhere. They're like, here you go, bitches.
Nice.
Really good shit, too.
I know, Eminem just did that, too. He just dropped a couple albums that no one knew he was even working on. So it's like...
I like that approach.
It'll create its own hype. We know everything else that's coming out.
Well, normally all this shit comes out at Comic-Con and all those other things.
Yeah, Celebration.
So if we had Celebration and Comic-Con and the D23 thing and all these things throughout the summer, they probably would have released like 2 things per event, and they would have dripped it out. But we didn't have any of those, so they just kind of waited, and they just slapped us in the face with a wet fish full of 12 Star Wars things.
Wet fish full. There's always a bigger fish.
Always a bigger fish. That's a good place to end this shit.
Cool. Appreciate it, guys.
Subscribe to the show, listen to the commentary, buy our merch, and tell a friend.
We did launch our merch.
Well, the merch was there, but Good Day Galaxy merch is brand fucking new.
Yeah. So for all you fans of the show, we just launched Good Day Galaxy merch. Where can I find it?
RogueSquadronPodcast.com/merch.
That's it. So you can get it on a goddamn coffee mug or a hat or a shirt, condoms, whatever you want it posted on.
It's only 20 Wupi.
20. There's just 3 of those gummy bear Datteries, that whatever the fuck. Come on, calamari gummy bear.
1 plate of Beskar per apparel item.
Please. So yeah, again, fanboy commentary. We are getting through the Mando stuff, which is fun, but you can always go back and watch the Batman 90s Batman stuff, which is 100% perfect.
Yeah.
And all the Star Wars stuff. So
Speaking of Batman, I was happy enough to be a guest on Revenge of the 90s to talk about Batman Returns, and that'll be coming out here this week, I believe, in preparation for Christmas, because we all know Batman Returns is certainly a Christmas film.
Yeah.
So look out for that and subscribe to their show in the meantime. Good shit.
Good shit, Maroki.
And we'll see you next week for the finale of The Mandalorian, Season 2.
The end of the days.
Bye, everybody.